Hello, this is Fiona Harvey with some questions from Anita Chandra about my recent work that was shown at Viewfinder Gallery in January this year, 2011. You asked about the inspirations behind my images, and I think they're part of an ongoing interest in significant things that happen in everyday life that we don't really think about, things that we don't notice. And in this case, I'm interested in how our relationship to the world around us changes as we move through space. And each time we do a simple movement, like take a step forward, our connection to the world changes radically. And this happens thousands of times and we don't even think about it. And I wanted to try and find a way of capturing that using photography. There's work by two artists, Idris Khan and Hiroshi Sugimoto, whose work I admire a lot. And although they weren't consciously in my mind when I was thinking about this project, I think they must have been there in the background somewhere. There are two particular projects that are relevant to my piece here. One is Idris Khan's series of every burnt and Hiller-Becker gas holder or gable end house, where he took all the burnt and Hiller-Becker pictures and superimposed them to create a single image showing, in essence, the typical one of these gas holders or houses that they were showing. And it's a very interesting image because you know where it's come from, but there's a kind of movement about it. There's a slight jittering of the edges, and a lot of information is compressed into this one shot. And the Sugimoto ones, which are perhaps more obviously relevant, the series he did when he took photographs at drive-in movies and theatres, where he made a single shot that was, the shutter was open for the entire period of the performance, whether it was a play or a film. And so you end up with this blank screen because it's all been compressed into one, and I found that fascinating as well. So although I wasn't trying to particularly capture time, I guess I did. I was more interested in our relationship to the world around us and how that changes, and I was trying to catch a bit of that, which inevitably includes time. But I was, as I said, thinking more about space. These pictures were shot in a dance studio. The challenge I had was to try and capture some sense of the movement, so it seemed important to anchor the camera to the mover. But I also wanted to have some sense of the person who's doing the moving, so it seemed to be important to work in somewhere where there was the possibility for reflection. I guess I could have used two cameras, but this time I've just used the one and worked in a dance studio, so I was holding the camera, and so my movements are caught as I go through space, but also there's a bit of reference to me because there's reflections in the mirror, so you can see the dancer moving, you can see me doing the plie or the turn or whatever, and the effects of that, which is what the camera catches. So the shutter was open for a small movement, a turn or a bend or a sidestep, and then the shutter was closed, and that was that. And I didn't do any post-production, I cleaned them obviously, but I was quite interested in what came out of them because I hadn't really got any idea how they were going to look, apart from being blurry, of course. And I was interested in the way the colours appeared because, as you say, they're really rather beautiful. But I guess that's perhaps a happy accident, but then I chose to show them, so not quite accidental, I guess.